In the foothills of North Carolina, where stock car racing was born from back roads, bootleggers, and a need for speed, stands one of NASCAR's most legendary venues. North Wilkesboro Speedway opened in 1949, built by Enoch Staley and his partners on a piece of land shaped by the hills around it. And long before the green flag flew, these roads were home to the moonshine runners, drivers who learned to carry illegal whiskey through the night, outrunning the law and mastering the same winding roads that helped shape stock car racing. That spirit found a permanent home here. The 5/8 mile North Wilkesboro Oval became famous for its uphill backstretch, downhill front stretch, and relentless rhythm. For nearly 5 decades, legends battled here until the Cup Series left in 1996. But the story doesn't end here. The track came roaring back to life, and today North Wilkesboro stands once again as one of racing's most beloved historic venues. And tonight, a new season begins. Race 1, clean slate, new championship hopes, and 150 laps around one of NASCAR's most storied short tracks. The past built this place. Tonight, a new chapter begins. It's the Time Capsule 150 from North Wilkesboro Speedway, the season opener, next on Track Limits Network. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the virtual North Wilkesboro Speedway, the 1987 edition, Race 1 of the Golden Racing League. This is going to be a very fun season. Let's take a look at this schedule, and I want to show this first because this is what we want to talk about. 87 track scan here tonight, 87 Cup cars as well. 1987, not 87 on the track. But then we switch over to the Gen 4 next week, and then the week after, the old COT, the Gen 6, and then the Gen 7 car. Then we'll revert back to the 87. So we're going to run 5 generations of Cup cars twice over a 10-race schedule. I'm so excited for it. Race details tonight. Didn't get that put up there, unfortunately, but 150 laps will be the distance here this evening. Try to verbalize that for you. Sorry, I thought I saved it, but my apologies. 150 laps, no fast repairs. There'll be one attempt at a green-white checkered finish. Drivers working with a 22% fuel load here tonight. That's going to force a few pit stops for certain. 2 sets of tires available over the wall, 3 overall if you count what's on the car. Practice times to this point with just about a minute plus left in this session. Landon Brown in the 5 is fastest, 20.463. Wyatt Hundley second quick. Corey Chris Bingley, Tracy Brown, Christian Strader, the top 5. Christian Strader you might recognize from the old IROC Challenge Series last season. Switching gears a bit running over here in the Golden Racing League. That'll be fun. Devin Baker, Dallas Sunderman, Dan Jones, David Warmoth, Elijah Grant, the top 10 here in the standings. Wayne Cannon says, how did I know he was going to play that song? Days of Thunder vibes, let's get it. Yeah, I couldn't help myself. It's not the first time I've used it for this, but it all goes back to, I forget, I think it might have been NASCAR Productions did a little reel with the Truck Series doing testing as soon as they finished repaving the racetrack. And yeah, of course, they overlaid the same music to it, so I just had to do the same thing. Strong field here tonight, 26 cars. The old vintage 1987 Cup Series race cars, all with special paint schemes. You might see some throwbacks out there as well. Black and red flags drop on the practice session. We'll get right into qualifying immediately thereafter. Qualifying session will be 2 laps, 5 minutes, whatever comes first. Looks like Devin Baker is going to roll off first. Baker on the chip at start-finish, down into turns 1 and 2 already. William Luttrell in the chat says, let's go, Steven, go 36. David Warmouth for second. Yeah, Luttrell's had a couple of second-place finishes just this week in 2 different leagues. Would love to get the monkey off his back and take the checkered flag here tonight as Baker goes 20.898, quickly drops down to the second spot. Landon Brown tops the charts, 20.69. We'll stay here with Devin, see if lap 2 is any quicker, and he sounds like he's a little out of the throttle, maybe a little too far up the racetrack out of 4, maybe not, we'll see. Does he improve? He does not. 9.96, pretty consistent, but a little bit slower. Pat Warmouth, 10th quick on his first, 22.711. Picks it up, 21.57. Casey Bristow on the clock to be here in just a moment. Top time right now is the 02 of Wyatt Hundley, 20.32. Bristow, 13th quick. Haven't really seen an improvement on the second lap for anybody. We'll see if Bristow can do it. And he picks it up, 21.590, 14th. Dallas Sunderman's 6th quick so far, 21.156 seconds. Front row is Hundley and Brown. Dallas across the line. A little slower, 7th quick. Cliff Mullins on the Speedway. Let's see if Cliff can pick up some pace here. He's good around these racetracks. We'll see if he can do it in this old stock car. Sporting the 13 in this series versus the 44 he runs on Mondays in the 4-Wide Motorsports Series. 6 quick, 20.99. Lap 2 in the books for Mullins. Where does he land? Stays in 6th. Slows down a bit. 21.137. Now Stephen Luttrell, the old Lake Speed throwback. Wins Car Care Products Kmart machine. The number 36 is Stephen Luttrell on the clock. Quick, 21.071. .082, the second lap for Luttrell. That might do it. So 30 seconds officially left in the session. There's 4 drivers that haven't taken the time as of yet. That's Chucky Walden, Yogi Schlier, Dan Jones, Josh Tressler. Ryan Hennigan took 2 laps but did not clock in an official time. Same for Robert Black. So they will line up in order of their I rating. Looks like Robert Black will start tail end of the field here to get this one underway. So that'll do it. Qualifying in the books. Wyatt Hundley, the fastest. So it's about that time. Let's take a look at it. Our starting grid for the Time Capsule 150. Season 3, race number 1 on the pole position with a lap time of 20.327 seconds. It's the 02 of Wyatt Hundley. Outside front row, missed it by 3.5 tenths. The 5 of Landon Brown. Second row, Chris Bingley and Tracy Brown. Row 3 is Devin Baker from Shockeye Racing and Cliff Mullins from C2X. Row number 4, it's Colton Alderman from Hot Topic. They've been on a run as of late. And Chris Golden from Golden Chef. Row 5, Stephen Luttrell from Luttrell Racing, flanked by the 58 4-wide motorsports entry of Dallas Sunderman. David Warmuth will roll off in the 11th position. Nick Christ will start 12th. 13th starters, Ryan Bittler. 14th is Shane Morris. 15th belongs to Elijah Grant. Luna Lieppo back in action in the 16th spot. Pat Warmuth will be 17th. Casey Bristow, 18th. 19th starter, it's Gino Volanti. 20th, Christian Strader from Tier 1 Racing. 21st, Chucky Walden. Josh Tressler, 22nd. Ryan Hennigan will start 23rd. Yogi Schlier, 24th. And in the final row, it's Dan Jones in the number 17. Shotgun on the field is the 28 of Robert Black. It's your starting grid here for the Time Capsule 150. About set to get things underway here momentarily. Field rolling away. We'll have 2 pace laps before we get to the green flag. Really excited for this one. If you're just joining us, this series is going to run 5 different generations of Cup cars over the course of the season. They'll run the first 5 races in 5 different cars. Then they'll go back to these 1987 Cup Series cars and do it all over again. Multiple disciplines over the course of the season. Really looking forward to that. Race details. Got them working now. 150 laps the distance, 2 sets of tires over the wall. 22% fuel on board. No fast repairs in 1 attempt at a green-white checkered finish. Track temperature nice and hot, 122 degrees Fahrenheit. That could be difficult for some of these drivers, especially that sun continues to beat down on this old worn-out racetrack.
Green flag.
Pace car is in, green flag is in the air. We are racing from North Wilkesboro Speedway. Hunley with the race lead still over Landon Brown. It's Bingley, Tracy Brown, and Devin Baker in 5th. 1 car in the fence out of turn number 2. Not sure who that is. Might be the 58 of Dallas Sunderman. Indeed it was. Pat Warmuth into 76, a little out of shape out of turn number 2. Keeps it pinned to the low side of the racetrack. Race lead still belongs to Wyatt Hunley. In fact, the top 6 unchanged since the drop of the green flag. It's Hunley, Landon Brown, Chris Bingley, Tracy Brown, Devin Baker, and Cliff Mullins. Again, keep an eye on that number 13 Pontiac of Cliff Mullins. It's showing a lot of speed across the 4-wide Motorsports Truck Series and over here at Golden Racing. I know it's early here, only 7 laps in at North Wilkesboro, but it's kind of getting that feel of a long green flag run, something we're accustomed to seeing here on this old, worn-out short track. Really going to force these drivers to take care of the equipment. Again, 2 sets of tires over the wall across 150 laps. Got to be mindful not to overdrive your entries, not to get on the throttle too hard on the exits. You're seeing it a little bit there, Landon Brown, the back end of the race car, just wiggling a touch on throttle. Wayne Cannon in the chat says Tracy Brown is likely to be the sleeper here tonight. Brown running in the 3rd spot in the number 91. Brown in the Chevrolet Monte Carlo. So Brown has picked up a spot as he's dispatched Chris Bingley back to 4th. It does appear maybe Luna Liepo had a problem, but so did Robert Black. Caution is out. The 28 machine hard into the outside wall. So very quickly under our first yellow of the afternoon. Robert Black will take it to pit lane with heavy front end damage. And again, no fast repair in this series, so that's going to be a day ender for the Golden Chef Speed Shop number 28. Trying to get a good look of it here. Watch the 28 machine just goes right up the racetrack, almost like he blew a right front, but this early on, I can't imagine that was the issue. I don't know if he locked up the brakes. Already had a little bit of right front damage, so maybe suspension failure. Takers on pit road already. Josh Tressler in the 88. You see Luna Liepo still parked in pit lane. Luna had a problem very early on, right front damage on the 37. I may have a replay of that. Let's see if we can find it. Damage already done there on the nose of the race car. Very similar circumstances there. The 37 just went up the racetrack. Green flag back out here at Wilkesboro. Landon Brown going to try and take advantage on the restart. Gets to the outside of Hundley, but Hundley will clear out of turn number 2. Take back over the top spot. So that's the deficit now for Landon Brown to make up. It was within about a car length, maybe a car length and a half. Brown's driving it much deeper on entry, can really close the gap on the 02, which is showing the 12. I want to make note of that. But on exit, Hundley really backing up his entries and getting onto the gas a little bit sooner than the 5. Just about mid-corner, you see Brown will close the gap, but on exit, all horsepower for Wyatt Hundley. Tracy Brown looking at the third position here. Chris Bingley. Big mover so far, the 18 of Christian Strader. The old Bobby Labonte colors. He started back in the 20th position. He's already into the top 10, running in the 8th spot. Let's go on board with Christian Strader, see what he sees in this old 1987 Cup car. So Strader continuing to march forward, just one more position to get up into that top 5. So now 14 positions march towards the front in these first 25 laps. So keep an eye on the 18. Strader's got some talent behind the wheel of that old race car. Meanwhile, Chris Golden in the Duff Beer number 19. Gotta love that. Golden started 8th. He's running 7th. Dave Warmuth in the chat says, well, that stinks. I lost my wheel. Onto my cooler. Some pretty neat throwback schemes out here this afternoon. I think this is an old Morgan Shepherd throwback. Wrong number on it. I think it had a 15 typically, but still looks good either way. Chuck Walden running in the 9th position. Casey Bristow, 10th. Nick Christ with Pennsylvania's favorite, the Waffle House, on board the number 26. There's a Waffle House over in Moosic, Pennsylvania that I tend to frequent when I get the opportunity. Dan Jones got the right number and the paint scheme. I love it when they match them up like that. This is the old Darrell Waltrip Western Auto scheme. Stephen Luttrell, again, I think this was a Lake Speed throwback. Yogi Schlier running in the 14th spot, battling with the 9 of Colton Alderman. I don't think that's a throwback, but it's still a very brightly colored number 9. Cliff Mullins down to 16th. Again, he did make a pit stop, so he's lost a lot of track position, but we'll see what that does. May get him off cycle with the fuel. I know we had a relatively decent run to our first caution, and another decent run now since the restart, so potentially still in the market for some long green flag runs here at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Gino Valenti running the old Dale Earnhardt Wrangler colors. Pat Warmoth running in the 21st position in his Pepsi number 76. He's the last car on the lead lap. And back out front, a hard-charging Wyatt Hundley starting to run him down, and he's really built a gap now back to Landon Brown in the second position. Chris Bingley hanging on to third over Tracy Brown, but now Christian Strader continues to march through this field, makes short work of the 91 of Brown and moves himself up into fourth. Last lap for Christian Strader, a 22:19. That was while making the pass on Brown. Race leader ran a 21:70, so much faster than Strader, at least right now. We'll watch this one more lap and see if Strader picks up the pace a bit. We saw how quick he was in the IROC Challenge Series last season. Totally different race car, though. And in some of the shadows, you can actually see the front brakes starting to glow on these race cars. Rear brakes, too. They're getting hot. Landon Brown on pit road under the green flag. Here we go. Green flag stops. Again, a very short fuel cell for this race, 22%. A little less than a quarter tank. Landon Brown, the first one to peel off under green flag conditions. He'll come to the attention, get some tires, some Sunoco racing fuel, or in this race car, Unical 76. Down and away. Chris Bingley, Tracy Brown, Devin Baker, Chucky Walden all on pit road now. Right side tires going on the 84 of Bingley. Looks like fuel only going to be the call for Tracy Brown. Same for Devin Baker. So now Christian Strader, Chris Golden, Dallas Sunderman, Elijah Grant, Casey Bristow on pit road. Wyatt Hundley from the lead. He made his pit stop just a couple of laps ago. So Stephen Luttrell now, the race leader, down into turn number 3. Luttrell's planning on pitting anytime soon. He better get down. But he made a stop at lap 12, so that puts him off cycle from everybody else. What he wants to see right now would be a caution here in about 5 or 6 laps. So the running order now with the fuel cycle, or the green flag pit cycle, but the caution comes out. There we have it. Nick Christ in trouble.
You make the call here.
So Nick Christ having a problem here, puts us under yellow for the second time today. See what happened here to the 26 machine. Down into turn number 3. A little shaky on entry, and the tail end just steps out. Kept it out of the path of an oncoming car, but gathers it back up. No damage for Nick Christ, except maybe some pride. But now Luttrell, Mullins, Alderman, and Bittler will come down under yellow to pit. And in this case, they don't need to go fuel only. They might opt for some tires. We'll see. It's going to be gas only for, well, I'd say half of them. Luttrell's going to roll off with just fuel. So is Cliff Mullins. watching the Time Capsule 150 on Track Limits Network, Race 1, Season 3. It's Golden Racing League. 5 generations of Cup cars all season long. So a little different here in this particular race. They're still going to do double file restarts. They're still going to have waiver rounds and lucky dogs. Those were rules that were not in place back in 1987, but I'm glad we're running them here tonight. But at the same time, if they didn't, I would understand. Because I am a product of 80s NASCAR, I wouldn't judge.
Green flag.
Green back in the air. On throttle, Wyatt Hundley pulls away. Landon Brown sticks with him a little bit here. Car length the advantage for the 0-2 into turn 1. Tracy Brown to third. Luttrell, big beneficiary here on that cycle of pit stops. Was able to do his under yellow. Comes back out in about the 4th or 5th place as he battles side by side with Devin Baker. Now clear of the 1, or is he? No, Baker battles back to the inside into turn number 3. Man, Trout really driving it deep into the corner, but that's where the advantage goes to the 1. He's backing up his entry. We saw the 0-2 of Hundley kind of doing the same thing. He was always able to build a gap on the straightaways, but now Baker doing it to defend, and he almost makes a little contact. In fact, I think he got into left rear, and they're 3 wide on exit at turn number 2. Baker now in the middle, getting ganged up on. Baker will lose 2 spots out of this while trying to take one away from Luttrell. So Bittler gets by. Bittler in the 44. And Chucky Walden in the 73, though, he's a lap down. We actually caught a lot of cars a lap down during that last caution because it kind of came out in the middle of the pit cycle. Meanwhile, out front, not much has changed as far as the view. Wyatt Hundley still in charge. Landon Brown second. Tracy Brown back to third. Then it's Bittler and Luttrell. We watch Luttrell here in the wins number 36. Baker back on the attack. Big wiggle there out of the 73. Chucky Walden opted for 4 tires, so that's why you see him driving away. Trying to march back towards the front to get a lap back as well. He got caught out during that caution. Jones running 13th, 1 lap down. First car 1 lap down. So if we catch another yellow, he'll get that lap back. But he'd much rather get up there and take it away from Hundley, but that's going to be a tall task. The 0-2 dominant so far this afternoon. I think he's led just about every lap. Meanwhile, smooth sailing out in front for Wyatt Hundley. No lap traffic to deal with. He might as well be out on a test session right now. 3.2 seconds the lead over Landon Brown. Landon in second, Tracy in third. The law offices of Brown and Brown here at North Wilkesboro. Chucky Walden in the 73, though he's still a lap down. He's really got the pace right now compared to these leaders. Still now put himself in between third and second place. Brown just lets him go. It's not really a position he needs to worry about. Steve Luttrell hanging on to that sixth spot. Christian Strader, another one of those drivers that got caught out a lap down, which is a shame. He had a lot of pace early on, was just really cutting up through the field. As we continue to watch him turn laps, he's one of the few cars out there I've seen burning up the brakes the way that he is. Got to be careful with that. They will eventually go away on you if you abuse them too much early. That said, Strader running in the 13th spot. One lap down. He's got a couple of cars to pass. Jones and Bristow if he wants to get back into that lucky dog position. Lap time starting to equalize a little bit, at least the last lap with Hundley and Landon Brown, but now it changes considerably. Hundley runs a 22:17 to Brown's 22:49. Just continuing to build a gap back to the 5. And there it is. Brown just crossing the start-finish line as Hundley's exiting turn 2. One car in the fence, Dan Jones scraping the wall. Might have a battle for position here. Tracy Brown under fire from Colton Alderman. Tracy already lost the spot to Bittler. Now we'll lose another to the number 9 machine if he can get it completed. Alderman on the low side. The very colorful yellow, blue, and red machine. I think Yogi Schlier has had a problem out on the Speedway. I think he's gathered it back up. So Alderman finally completes the pass on Tracy Brown to move Tracy back to 5th. Alderman now working towards the front. Now only 10 cars on the lead lap with this blistering pace that Wyatt Hundley is laying down here. Ryan Bittler in the 44 is pit road starting to get busy again. Bristow will pull it down. Jack goes underneath the right side of Bristow's Monte Carlo. Fuel going in. Elijah Grant will pull into his pit box just ahead with some heavy right front damage on the 35. 4-tire change here for Casey Bristow. Right side's also going on the 35, but man, he's going to have some work to do on the front end of that machine. So now Wyatt Hundley with a 7 0.3 second advantage back to Landon Brown, just logging laps as we approach halfway. About 5 laps to go. Well, we're half distance here at Wilkesboro. Now, what we saw happen the last time to many of our top contenders getting caught out with the caution coming out after the pit cycle had begun, that can absolutely happen to our current top 10. Wyatt Hundley not excluded. Got to be a little strategic here. I think you kind of use the most safest strategy possible if you're Wyatt Hundley here. Stay out as long as you can. Make that pit stop last. When you've got the pace that he has, you can afford yourself to be a little conservative on the strategy, knowing you can beat him on the speedway. Will we see the 02 come to pit lane this time? Stays out again. Any takers? We got one. It's Landon Brown. Right side tires going on the 5 Leadfoot TV Ford. Tracy Brown decided to pit as well. Figured it's time. Will it be a 4-tire change for Landon? Indeed it is. Left side tires now off the ground. Second can of Unical 76 being dumped into that machine. Down to the ground it goes. Dumps the clutch, heads back out. Now Devin Baker. And Chris Bingley will make the left turn into pit road. So Hundley's still out on the racetrack. Then it's Ryan Bittler in second. Alderman up to third. Luttrell fourth. Cliff Mullins fifth. Hundley will likely have to pit prior to just about anybody else there in that top 5 as Sunderman comes down. He pit the same time Hundley did, so I'd expect to see the 02, or 12 in this case, make his way down shortly. And what could be the second to last stop of the race if we run this green all the way to the end. And there it is. Hundley will pull down. We always say it, don't beat yourself, be clean, don't get a penalty. Gio Valenti didn't heed that warning. Black flag for the 15. So Bittler, Alderman, Luttrell, the new top 3. Christian Strader will jump up to 4th. Those 4 drivers all need to still make a pit stop here in the next few laps. So pit road, a busy place right now. 81 laps complete here at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Steve Luttrell, Christian Strader now will come down and pit. Chris Golden will do the same. Right side tire change for Luttrell. And Bristow and Schleer and Grant crash.
Anything to say about your car?
Caution is out once again here at the end of the pit cycle, and it's going to catch more guys out. Get a look at it here, see what happened just a moment ago. Did it happen ahead of him? 12 gets into the fence a little bit and then clips the 11, and up the racetrack they all go. Nowhere for Elijah Grant to go, and I don't think he's going to have a lot of damage to worry about. He slid it to a stop, maybe a little kiss to the right side of the 12. So now Ryan Bittler will complete his pit work under yellow. Colton Alderman will do the same. So right now, without waiver rounds, it looks like the top 4 on the lead lap. Alderman, Hundley, Bingley, and Landon Brown. Tracy Brown will swing by and get his lap back. So will Christian Strader. So Hundley has cycled back around as the race leader. We're on lap 83. Going to be 84 here in a minute. Last pit stop for Hundley was lap 79, and I think this should give them the opportunity to one-stop this race if it goes green to the end. Hundley should have another set of tires over the wall if the opportunity presents itself. So we'll give you a look at the lineup here right now. Alderman, Hundley, Bingley, Landon Brown, Tracy Brown, Ryan Bittler, Dallas Sunderman, Cliff Mullins, Christian Strader, Steve Luttrell, the top 10. That may cycle out a little bit as we try to get the order right. Again, once again, caution coming out the tail end of the green flag pit cycle.
Green flag.
Oh, the green flag back out. Alderman with the lead. We didn't get anybody lined up there. Well, they're off and running anyways. Slow car down the backstretch. Drivers scattering. That's the 88 machine of Josh Tressler. So back out front, Colton Alderman now with the race lead. Hundley runs in the second position. He's back about 9/10 of a second. See Hundley there working around the 26 of, nope, that's the 12. Yogi Schleer gets clear. Next on the list will be Chris Golden in the number 19 before he can get caught up to the race leader. A lot of traffic in the mix. Alderman trying to fight his way through it. You know Hundley's got the pace, and Alderman's just got to try and run for his life. Get clear of this traffic as fast as possible. Almost some contact there with the 15. Valenti now way up the racetrack. Gives way. Wyatt Hundley still trying to make short work of Chris Golden. Can't get it done. Washes up the racetrack. 3 wide for a brief moment there with Valenti on the top side. Hundley will swap lanes, goes to the outside of Golden again here in turn number 1. Golden washing back up into that second lane. So Hundley now, nobody in between him and the race lead. It's down to 3.5 of a second, and Hundley chewing it up in a hurry. Back to the stripe. Car length and a half the advantage for the 9 of Colton Alderman. Hundley to the inside, coming out of 4. Alderman battles back. Way down to the flat of the racetrack. Hundley looking for some grip. And Wyatt Hundley gets it done. Back to the race lead. Time to set sail, but plenty of lap traffic to contend with, and there's a car around. I think it's the 12 of Yogi Schleer. Again,
Yeah,
it is.
my radio sound bad out there?
Let's take a look. Entering turn 3, middle of 3 and 4. Alongside the 11, Yogi way low on the racetrack. A little more grip in the front than he had planned. Starts to come around and kisses the inside wall. Not a big incident, but enough to draw the yellow. A few drivers in pit lane. Cliff Mullins, Steve Luttrell, Dallas Sunderman. Strader stays out. He'll pick up a few more positions. So pace truck lights go out. Set up for a proper restart here. Going to go back double file. We'll get the restart at lap 99. It'll be 52 laps to go.
Green flag.
Green back in the air. Big wiggle by Colton Alderman coming to the green. Spins the back tires. Trying to hang on to it. He does. That was a close call for the 9. Alderman will hang on to third for the time being, but the leaders get away. Hundley and Landon Brown back to where they started. Dave Warmoth says, I'm better now. Got a few beer in me. I wish I could say the same, sir. Been looking for that cooler. "101 laps on the board. We're way late for our mid-portion break. We'll step aside, get a track limits side-by-side break out of the way. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop-lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana.
Caution.
Spartan Logistics, LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series. Kyle Steffens, UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws Late Model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
Green, green.
Another restart here at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Hundley and Brown going at it again. The 5 of Brown just cannot seem to get by the 0-2 of Hundley. Hundley just that much faster right now, but right to the back bumper goes Landon Brown. It's go time for the 5 as we're starting to wind down the laps. Brown searching for grip around this racetrack, running very different lines than what we've seen most of this race, just trying to find an answer to the riddle that is Wyatt Hundley. And a caution comes out. Yogi Schlier in trouble again. This might be the third time today. Yogi not having the afternoon he had planned for. And very heavy left front damage. And 15 trying to get out of pit lane. Elijah Burke helping him around that time. Meanwhile, pit road, a busy place. It's wide open and just about everybody going to come down and take their final set of tires. Only going to bolt on 4. A lot of drivers did not. Stephen Luttrell. Fuel only for the 36. It'll buy him some track position. Dan Jones, looks like 4 tires. His last stop was at lap 76. He stayed out. Actually, Luttrell and Jones both stayed out. Luttrell, though, last stop, lap 97. So late in this race, Stephen Luttrell buying himself some track position. Restart as the race leader. Dan Jones into 17 will start to his outside.
Flag.
Green back in the air. Luttrell pulling away. One car off the pace, coming to green. Didn't catch who it was. Ryan Bittler in the 44. We stay green for now. Landon Brown, though, quickly up to the second spot, now challenging Luttrell for the race lead. Landon found that grip on the low side of the racetrack. He doesn't want to do this too long. He wants to get the race lead and start to run away. He knows Wyatt Hundley there back in 6th will not waste a lot of time trying to get back up to the race lead. Saw during the previous caution, Christian Strader was involved in that, but with the caution coming out immediately thereafter, Strader able to get back on the lead lap, and now he runs in the 3rd spot. But not for long. Wyatt Hundley to the inside. This should be the battle I wanted to see all night long. Watch the 18 and the 02 battle it out. Now, granted, Strader's got some damage on that race car, so take that into consideration. Landon Brown gets the lead from Steve Luttrell. Hundley gets clear of Strader. So Yogi Schleer in trouble another time. Slow on the straightaway here, down off turn number 2, getting back up to speed. Tough night, getting tougher for Yogi Schleer as the battle for the lead is on. Wyatt Hundley now to the back bumper of Landon Brown. Can Brown hold him off here for another 30 laps? Hundley to the inside, gets a nose along the left rear, up to 5, coming to the stripe. Brown leads it this time. I don't think he's going to the next time. Big wiggle out of turn number 2 for the 5 of Landon Brown. It just gives the advantage more so to Wyatt Hundley. Another car spinning up the track. It was Yogi Schleer again. Yogi Schleer now getting run down by the race leaders. Got to be careful here if you're Hundley and Landon Brown. And the 12 spins again up into the wall, and that'll draw another caution.
What do you got now?
7th yellow of the night, and I want to say Schleer's been involved in 4 of them. It's been a really tough evening for the 12 machine. Wayne Cannon in the chat says, just park it at this point. I'd have to agree. It's just a tough night that's not getting any easier for the 12 of Yogi Schleer, and Hundley spins on at turn number 2 under caution. What is going on? What in the world? So Hundley able to take back his position after that spin under yellow. Usually, if you don't maintain your speed, I thought you lost the spot, but it appears he's gotten it back. It just came around on him. It almost looks like he downshifted, locked up the rear tires. I want to listen to it. Oh, he was saving fuel. He just let the clutch out. Rear tires gripped up and came around on him. So lights still on the iRacing pace truck. We'll go one more time here. I think we'll get the one to go this time across start finish. It'll be lap 125, so restart lap 126. Give us 25 laps to go when we go green. Ryan Bittler to 44. Trying to get lined up in the right spot.
Green flag.
24 laps to go here from North Wilkesboro Speedway. Hundley leads Strader into turn 1. Mullins and Bingley side by side for 3rd. Landon Brown back in the 5th position. He did make a pit stop on this caution, and he took 4 tires. We'll see if it pays off. Hundley's going to do exactly what Hundley needs to do, and that's to get away from Strader, put some distance on the field. Meanwhile, Landon Brown might end up use up all the good on those new tires to catch him. Time running out. Be 22 to go across the stripe. Brown running third, now having to run down Christian Strader. Now Strader's going to be tough to pass too. You saw how quick he was earlier on in this race. Started deep in the field in the 20th position. Was very quick to jump up into the top 10. And a little bit quick there into the top 5. After a little bit of adversity a couple of cautions ago, he finds himself running second to Wyatt Hundley. And Hundley not able to really pull away from Strader right now, but Brown really catching up quick here. It'll be 19 to go at the line. And remember, Landon Brown made a pit stop here under this last caution. He put on his last full set of tires. Hundley has new tires too, but they're from lap 112. They're not significantly older, and we have had some cautions since that time, but man, Brown is flying. Last lap at 20.94. The race leader was at 21.14. Brown easily takes the second spot away from Christian Strader. Now sets his sights on the race lead and maybe a win. And the yellow is out. Gino Volanti in trouble.
Give me your temps there, bud.
Heavy front end damage to the 15 of Gino Volanti, 8th caution of the afternoon. So that makes it a little bit easier for Landon Brown. He'll restart to the outside of Wyatt Hundley this next restart. Volanti up the racetrack, into the marbles a little bit. Rear end comes around. Nick Christ might get a piece here, just misses him. He didn't even really hammer the throttle that hard. It just came around. Hundley doing his best Dale Earnhardt impression. Tapping up the back bumper of the iRacing pace truck. Go. Hundley and Brown again on the front row. Coming to the restart. We lap 138. The sprint to the finish. The fastest two this afternoon on the front row. Green back in the air. Little wiggle on Landon Brown. Hundley gets away very well. Strader not going to blink an eye here. He's going to take a shot at it as well, but can't keep pace. Still side by side down the backstretch into turn number 3. Brown hanging tough to the outside. Remember, he's got newer tires. Hundley still leads, but at the line, I think it was Brown. Could that be a preview to the last lap? Oh, and Hundley loose out of turn 2. He's getting all he can. Brown to the race lead, still not clear. Can he get it done? Hundley battling back on the low side of the racetrack, not willing to give an inch. And he slips a little off 2 again, so Landon Brown to the race lead with 10 to go. Hundley all over the back bumper of the 5 of Landon Brown. Can he get this lead back? He's been the dominant driver all night long, and a late pit call for Landon Brown to bolt on his last set of tires could be the difference between winning and losing. Oh, and he gets into the back of him, loosens him up on a turn number 2, but Brown hangs on to it. Now going back to the inside. Hundley looking for the race lead again in 3. Brown will carry the momentum off turn number 4. Hundley not liking being on the bottom of the racetrack. And now Christian Strader is going to get into the mix. He looks to the outside, slams the door, does Hundley. He wants to hang on to that second spot. He can't fight with Brown if he's got to worry about Strader.
Caution.
And a caution comes out late for Cliff Mullins and Tracy Brown. Oh boy, here we go. Brown to the inside of Luttrell, just loses the car, drives it through the grass, doesn't really woe it up, and then slides all the way up into the path of Cliff Mullins, and a monster hit for Tracy Brown. His day is done. Mullins able to drive away from the scene, but this sets us up for a very interesting last handful of laps. I don't think it's going to push us to that green-white checkered finish just yet, but we may have a natural green-white checkered. We're going to have to see how the laps play out. Again, scheduled distance 150 tonight. We're about to start lap 146 the next time by the starter stand. So if you're Landon Brown right now, this is when you wish you had the old 1987 Cup Series rulebook, because we'd be restarting single file here. In this case, he's going to have the 0-2 of Wyatt Hundley to the inside on the restart, or outside for that matter. I don't know if these drivers get lane choice as the race leader. I know there's not a choose cone if it were, but I thought the leaders get to choose which lane to restart in. It's not the same with every league. Wayne, if you're aware of it, if you're still watching the broadcast, let us know. But I'll tell you, if I'm Landon Brown, I'm going to give Wyatt the inside here, because he seemed to be able to defend nicely. But no, that's not going to be the case. Landon Brown will be at a disadvantage here at the bottom of the racetrack, coming back to green. So it'll give us, looks like a green, and then a white, and then a checkered if we run it all the way without a yellow. Again, one attempt at the green-white checkered finish if we need it. I think we're going to see some fireworks here between Brown and Hundley. Race truck is in, green flag back in the air. Here we go. Oh, big spin for Hundley. He's in the fence and major impact. Hundley is out of it. Landon Brown drives away with 2 laps to go. Down the backstretch, now into turn number 3. Landon Brown just needs to hold off Christian Strader, and he'll have a win in his pocket. Off turn number 4, back to Barney the flagman. White flag in the air, final lap from North Wilkesboro. Brown missed the pole position by 3.5 tenths of a second, but he won't miss out on the win. You just got to hold it off for 2 more corners into 3 and 4 for the final time. Landon Brown back to the main straightaway here at North Wilkesboro, and he will win the Time Capsule 150. Christian Strader will bring it home second from the 20th place start. Chris Bingley third. Stephen Luttrell with the top 5 and 4th. Dallas Sunderman will come home 5th. Wyatt Hundley, for now, looking like 13th place will be the finishing position for the dominant 0-2 tonight. That's certainly something we didn't see back in the day. Somebody doing donuts in these cars. So let's go back to the restart here, the final restart of the race. We'll watch the 0-2 of Wyatt Hundley here coming back to green. Good launch by the 5, and he just spins the tires on the gear shift. We'll watch it again here from the tower. Wow. Well, with that, we're going to step aside and get our break out of the way, and we hopefully have our top 3 finishers, Landon Brown, Christian Strader, Chris Bingley, in the broadcast booth after this. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop-lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics, LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens, UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws Late Model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook. Back in North Wilkesboro Speedway, race 1 of the season, the time capsule 150 in the books. Landon Brown perseveres when Wyatt Hundley stumbles, coming back to green on the final restart. Landon Brown from Triple B Racing taking the race win here. Let's see if we can get a word with the driver of the number 5 Leadfoot TV Ford. Landon and Steve with track limits. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Landon, congratulations, man. Strong car all night. Put it outside front row in qualifying, but there was no stopping Wyatt Hundley tonight. He had the pace. He was the dominant car, but you took a pit strategy call late in this race around, I think it was lap 123, bolted on the final set of tires. Restarted, I think, about 6, but worked your way up quickly to contend with Wyatt Hundley. Then a late race restart. It all went south for Wyatt Hundley. Walk us through this race. Did you have a thought in your mind that you could have done something with Hundley, or did you need some luck to fall your way?
Well, I'll be honest. Even though I was fastest in practice there, if you'd have told me that I would have won this race tonight, I'd have told you were crazy. I was so unsure about everything going in here tonight. Still set it on the front row in qualifying, which I was kind of surprised about because somebody on my crew team didn't siphon the fuel out. I was running a full fuel tank around there in qualifying, so might have to fire them next week. But no, I mean, I had a good car all night long. Wyatt, obviously, like I said, was the dominant car. I didn't really feel like I had anything for him unless I could pull something off in pit strategy. And luckily, me and Tracy were in a radio channel or whatever together, and we're working on when we were going to pit, how we were going to sort of strategize the whole thing, and it just worked out in our favor, which usually doesn't happen too often. But it worked out tonight, luckily.
Sometimes it is better to be lucky than good. Hundley was good tonight. You were pretty stellar yourself. You drive it to victory lane, man. Congratulations. We line things up now next week. Gen 4 Cup car at the old Atlanta Motor Speedway. We're going to destroy some rear tires next week. How do you set up for that one?
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be tough. Last week we ran the NASCAR trucks at Old Atlanta in one of the other leagues. So, I guess there's somewhat some practice there, but, I mean, the Gen 4 is just a whole total different animal. I don't have a lot of seat time in that car like some of these other guys. Some of these other guys in here have ran full seasons of the Gen 4, and I've never ran a Gen 4 season ever. So it's going to be something totally new to me as far as the cars go. But I think it'll be very interesting. I like running some of the more high horsepower stuff. So I think it'll be interesting. I think it'll make for a great race. Tires, obviously, are going to play a big part, like you said, and they played a big part here tonight. I mean, I took tires, like I said, 123 or so. I mean, not a lot of laps left in the race, but that extra set of 4 tires meant the absolute world there at the end, and I think you're just going to see the same thing next week at Atlanta.
Double the horsepower, half the drag, and a wore-out racetrack. I suggest, if you haven't already done so, put a bungee cord on that throttle pedal. Pretend there's an egg underneath your foot, and don't break it, because you're going to break traction there quite a bit next week. It's going to be an interesting one to watch. We wish you the best of it. Landon, congratulations again, man. Who do you want to thank?
Yeah, I have to thank, first of all, Leadfoot Speed Shop and my dad and Tracy. They put so much work into this car, my dad especially. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have been where I was tonight. The car was awesome. He was supposed to race tonight. Unfortunately, some plans came up and he wasn't able to make it. So I'm glad I was able to do him a little bit of justice and run his setup and put it in victory lane for him at home. And Tracy, like I said, on my team, working with him. Track Limits Network and you, Steve, you do a great job there in the booth. Leadfoot TV, both of you guys do so much for Golden Racing and 4i Motorsports, putting on great broadcasts. Got to thank LFRL, Triple B Racing, Haley Moody Racing, Eastern Technical Design, Tiltify. There's just so many people. Usually I'm running a Justin Brooks paint scheme. I didn't tonight. I haven't got him to get me one for this race, but usually I am, so I'll still shout him out there. I don't know how many Birdseed fans we have out there in the stands, but maybe the flock will get loud tonight with this win. So it's not often I end up in victory lane. So, but second start in Golden Racing, end up in victory lane. Hey, can't do much better than that, can you?
Can't shake a stick at it. Congrats again, man. Thanks for talking to us, Landon. Good luck next week in Atlanta.
Thank you, sir.
That'll do it for our race winner, Landon Brown, here at North Wilkesboro. Next, we'll talk to the 18 of Christian Strader fresh off Season 11 of the IROC Challenge Series, comes over here to Golden Racing and puts on a show. Started deep in the field here tonight, back in the 20th position, brings it home to P2 after a bit of an excursion out on the racetrack, maybe a little damage to the race car, but he survived it, and a runner-up finish to boot. Christian, it's Steve with Track Limits. You got me?
Hey, what's up, Steve? How you doing?
Good, Christian. Congrats, and good to see you over here with Golden Racing. A solid performance right out of the gate here at North Wilkesboro Speedway. A very deep starting spot, 20th on the grid, and you bring it home second. You were fast right out of the gate, knifing through the field. What was the issue in qualifying, and how did you make it through all that traffic?
I missed the driver's meeting, so
well, there you go.
Go to the back for that one.
Shame on you.
But hey, I got here late, and I was like, hey, at least we'll make the race start. We'll start in the back, and it's a long race. I mean, 150 laps. It's not crazy long, but it's a good track for tire wear. Kind of taking advantage of like people on different strategies of different sorts. So early on in the race, I knew people were going to be pretty relaxed and just kind of seeing where the tires would go. And I kind of wanted to just get some track position while that was going on. So the car was fast, and it made for a pretty good race for that part. It was definitely a chaotic night. I mean, for me at least, going a lap down because I didn't think about the fact that tires were 22 seconds instead of 14, and then just a couple mishaps. But it was a good race. It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Well, certainly a fun one to watch. We love North Wilkesboro. I don't think you can be a NASCAR fan and not love North Wilkesboro in some form or fashion, especially this old throwback with these 87 Cup cars. But we switch things up a bit next week. The old Atlanta Motor Speedway going into the high horsepower, low drag Gen 4 car. You've got a lot of experience here in the iRacing service. You feel pretty good about that one?
Yeah, I feel great about that one, actually. I love old Atlanta. I love the old Gen 4 car. That's probably my favorite car in the service, so feeling good going into that. And who doesn't like going up there and running against the fence? Probably one of my favorite things to go ahead and go do. So I'm pretty excited for next week. I think that'll be a fun race, and hopefully we'll be talking to you again next week with that.
Looking forward to it, Christian. Congrats again, man. Who do you want to shout out to?
I just want to say thanks to Chris and Hunter for putting everything on over here. And then, of course, just want to say thank you to you. Appreciate you having us and coming out and broadcasting. And we'll see you next week.
All right, Christian. Thanks for chatting, man. Good luck in Atlanta.
Yeah, thank you.
Christian Strader, runner-up here at North Wilkesboro. Next, we'll talk to Chris Bingley, his first podium in any league. He's got to be happy about that. We'll talk to the driver, the Pennzoil number 84. Chris Bingley, Steve with Track Limits. You got us?
Hey, how you doing?
We're doing good, Chris. Congratulations. We just said it to the fans here. Your first podium finish in any league. It's got to make you feel good, and to get it here at North Wilkesboro in this old Cup car, it's got to be a happy moment for you.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Walk us through your race. You started here in the third position. Just to stick around in that top five, that's a bonus in itself. But to come home third, it's got to feel like a win, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. Like, I took that first pit stop, I took tires, and I don't know, the way iRacing did it, they gave you the wave around with one lap to go, and I was way back, catching up to the field when the green came. But then when the other guys pit and took tires, I was able to get back up into fourth and stay there.
Well, an impressive run for certain. Got to make your Canadian brethren happy, certainly. We're not too far from you where we're broadcasting. We're only an hour out of Ontario. But next week, though, we move down south. Atlanta Motor Speedway in the Gen 4 Cup car. As I said to our first two finishers here tonight, a lot more horsepower and a whole lot less drag. How do you prepare yourself to handle that race car in that old wore-out Atlanta Motor Speedway?
I've raced it a few times. You know, you just gotta kind of go with the flow. I mean, it's a different, obviously, with the way the season is this year. Different cars, different tracks every week. You just gotta kind of go with the flow. I guess make sure you know what you're getting into.
All right, Chris. Well, congratulations again, man. Who do you want to thank?
Oh, I don't know. I want to thank Chris Golden for putting it on, and all the admins and everything. You know, they put on a a pretty fair league here, and just the way they do everything, it's one of the better leagues I've been a part of.
Well, Chris, thanks for talking to us. Congratulations here, third place at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Good luck next week down in Hotlanta.
All right, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
That's Chris Bingley, third place finisher here tonight at North Wilkesboro Speedway. That'll do it for the interview portion of this afternoon's broadcast. Let's take a look at our race results. We talked to Landon Brown, our winner. Christian Strader came home second. And, of course, we're back to this problem. I thought this was fixed. Let's try it. Well, we'll try to run it this way. Landon Brown, Christian Strader, Chris Bingley, your top three. Stephen Luttrell comes home in fourth. Dallas Sunderman finishes in the fifth spot. Sixth was Colton Alderman. Nick Christ was seventh. Cliff Mullins was eighth. Ryan Bittler, ninth. 10th went to Dan Jones. Chris Golden, 11th. Devin Baker was 12th. Wyatt Hundley, disappointing 13th place after a little bit of a mistake coming to green, spun the rear tires and got it in the fence. 14th, Casey Bristow. Chucky Walden was 15th. Tracy Brown, 16th. Gino Valenti comes home 17th. Elijah Grant, 18th. Luna Liepo, 19th place. Yogi Schleer, after a very trying afternoon, will finish 20th. Josh Tressler was 21st. Pat Warmoth, 22nd. Shane Morris was 23rd. Ryan Hennigan was 24th. Robert Black, 25th. And David Warmoth, minus a wheel, last and not least. But he's got the cooler. He's got to take home 26th place finish tonight at Wilkesboro. That'll do it for us, guys. Thanks for watching. Stream Chat busy as always. Thank you so much for that. Dave, obviously, anytime you're out of a race, you can jump in that Stream Chat anytime you want. We do appreciate it. If you haven't already, like, follow, share, subscribe. Help us out in that department if you haven't already done so. We'll see you guys next week at Atlanta Motor Speedway with the Gen 4 Cup car. And we've got one more race this week. It's the VI SRA Cup Series, the Florida Academy Cup Series tomorrow night. That's going to be a fun one to watch. A last-minute deal again, but we're going back behind the mic for that, so stay tuned. Tune in for it. Watch it. It should be a good one, and that'll wrap it up for us. From North Wilkesboro Speedway, congratulations to Landon Brown, your winner